I made almost every possible mistake on my first trip to Rome. But somewhere along the way, I married an Italian and spent enough time in Rome to learn some insider tips on how to do Rome right. Now, these aren't your typical tourist tips. These are what the locals actually do to save hundreds of dollars in Rome and make sure that your Rome experience is absolutely incredible. I'm Gary with Optimal Travel. Let's get started. In Rome, two of the most popular sights to see is the Colosseum and the Trevi Fountain. Don't see these sights during the peak hours in the middle of the day. Not only is the sun hotter if you're traveling in summer, but the crowds are so intense, it's hard to get a view of anything. And if you're looking for that iconic photo or selfie in front of the Trevi Fountain or with the Colosseum in the background, it's going to be really hard to get without 1,000 photo bombers if you're going during peak hours. The best times to go? Early in the morning, before 9 a.m., or after 4 p.m. in the afternoon. Not only will the crowds be much less, but you'll actually get to see the sights and experience it in a much more personal way. And if you go later in the day, it's still sunny and light out most of the year after 4 and 5 o'clock, and you can even possibly get some better views. One trick I learned from the locals is to go to the Colosseum at sunrise, 6 in the morning, 7 in the morning, depending on the time of year, and watch that sun come up behind this massive structure. It's really an awe-inspiring sight, and you're going to see Rome in a way most tourists never do.
There are so many things to do in Rome, but there's one that is my favorite, and that is il dolce far niente. Have you tried it?
Now, this next tip will not only get you better food in Rome, but save you a ton of money. If you've ever been to Rome or any major city in Italy, you've undoubtedly walked by some barkers in front of restaurants. And these are those guys standing out there hollering at tourists, trying to get them to eat in their restaurant. Do you think there's any locals eating at these restaurants? Because they wouldn't need these guys trying to lure people in. These are the places in front of the major attractions. If you're eating at a restaurant in Piazza Navona in Rome, that's going to not only be the most expensive meal you could probably have there, but the quality may not even be that great. Instead, try eating where the people who have lived in Rome their whole life eat. San Lorenzo, Trastevere, these are neighborhoods where the food is well known to be superior, and you're probably going to save. For example, a typical meal in a tourist area can easily run you $25 a person. It can get up to $40 a person if you're not careful. If you go to one of the local spots and local neighborhoods, you're not going to pay more than 10 euros for a meal, and sometimes even less. And if you're wondering how to get around to some of these neighborhoods where the food is better and the prices are lower, I'm going to tell you that in a couple minutes. But first, I'm going to give you one more insider tip, and that is if you're a local in the middle of Rome, near some of these attractions, say you're a worker, you're doing some work around there, and you have no choice, you need to get something to eat. They're not going to be eating at these big, expensive restaurants. They're going to go a few streets off from where the main attractions are and find a nice bar or cafe where you can still get some very high quality food. It's mostly going to be sandwiches, pizzas, things of that nature, but the price will be very reasonable for what else you're going to find in Rome. And the Romans also like pastasciutto, which is a chain pasta restaurant where you kind of mix and match and pick your pasta and your sauce and they put it all together for you. And it's fairly economical. And they even have these a few blocks off the Trevi Fountain in the middle of Rome. So you can find some good spots if you're stuck in the tourist area. But make sure for your big meals that you plan out a little side trip somewhere where you're going to get an authentic meal at a good price.
Italian food is delicious. Could you let us know some of your favorite places around there? I'm always curious to try new places.
Now, this next tip I learned from locals, most tourists don't even know exists. Every every time I go to Rome, I save hundreds of dollars by buying the Roma Pass. Now, this is a pass that you can purchase for 48 or 72 hours, and most people are going to go to Rome for at least 2 or 3 days anyway. But it not only gives you access to all the public transport, the subway, the buses, whatever you need in Rome for that period of time, but it also gives you free entrance into museums or archaeological sites. So it depends on which pass you buy, but the 48-hour pass will give you 1 entry for free, and the 72-hour pass will give you 2 entries for free. So you don't have to wait in line to buy tickets. You can go to whatever museum or archaeological site that you want, and it's included with the price of that pass. It's going to save you money over buying individual tickets for everything and then paying for transport all along the way. Which leads me to this next tip, which can save you hundreds more. When I first started traveling, I was used to taking taxis everywhere. That was just a thing to do. You get to the airport in a foreign city, you take a taxi to your hotel, you take a taxi to a restaurant, and those bills can add up quite fast, especially in Italy. And in Rome, the taxis are extremely expensive. But you know what? Locals rarely use the taxis because the subway and train system in Rome is so incredible. You can get almost anywhere if you're willing to walk a few blocks. The metro is clean, efficient, and cheap. And if you don't buy the Roma Pass, you can buy a one-way ticket for about €150, or you can buy a full day pass for unlimited rides for about €7 and get anywhere in the city you need to. And if you're getting to and from the airport, skip that taxi. Take the train. It's €14 one way to get to the center of Rome. A taxi will easily cost you €60 to €70. But I'm curious, when you travel, do you prefer to just be driven everywhere, or do you want to do a little walking around and exploring along the way? Let me know in the comments below. I found out the hard way that there's a rather strict dress code in Rome for a lot of the sites you're going to want to be seen and getting into. No tank tops, no shorts, no low-cut shirts. You could be turned away. In fact, I wear shorts everywhere I go. But if I'm going into a church or into the Vatican, I know I can't do that. And for women who have their shoulders uncovered, just bring a scarf or something to cover up with if you're going into one of these sites, because they will turn you away at many religious sites and at the Vatican if you don't follow this dress code. And if you are planning on seeing the Vatican, don't do what I did on my first trip. My first trip to Rome, I was so excited to see the Vatican, I could not get in. I didn't get tickets well enough in advance, and they sell out. Not only do they sell out, but if you're getting there and trying to get tickets and you happen to be lucky and on a day when they have some available, you'll be waiting in lines for 2 to 4 hours just to get those tickets. But in most cases, they sell out well in advance, especially in the popular months and in the summer months. So go online to the Vatican site and secure those tickets as soon as you book your trip to Rome. That way, you won't miss out. You don't want to show up and be struggling to get in at a time that you don't really want to go because it's the only time slot left, or find out that there's absolutely no availability. Now, you can still walk into the Vatican, but you won't be able to see any of the museums or sites there without a ticket. But the Vatican is not the only place where you can run into this kind of problem. If you're trying to get into the Colosseum, those tickets can also sell out well in advance. So any tickets to sites that are ones you don't want to miss, make sure you get them well ahead of your trip. Don't plan on showing up and trying to get the tickets once you're there. I started traveling internationally decades ago. And in the old days, before ATMs were even that prevalent, you had to always exchange money, and there'd be exchange counters at all the major airports, and that's where most people would do it. And those places still exist today, but it's actually one of the worst places to change money because you'll get a much poorer exchange rate than you will these days simply by using an ATM. But there's a trick to it. Stay away from tourist ATMs that are just isolated ATMs in the middle of tourist spots or at the airport that aren't part of a bank. There's plenty of banks all over Rome. Just go to a regular bank and use their ATM. The ATM fee will likely be a lot less. And when you are taking out euros from an ATM in Italy or Rome, you always want to make sure you do not let the machine convert that money to dollars for you. All of these banks are offering people these days, when you take out euros, to convert that to dollars. And it'll tell you exactly how many dollars it's taking from your account, which is going to be obviously a different amount from the euros that you're getting. This is essentially the machine asking if they can charge you more, because they're getting a big commission off of that exchange rate, and it's not a good one. If you check it out, your bank is likely to give you a much better rate. Now, if you're like me, on my first trip to Italy, I knew absolutely no Italian and was a little intimidated. I'm going to give you a tip on how to get around. My wife taught me 5 key phrases right away that really helped me get through Italy and Rome in particular, because in Rome, most Italians know a little English, but as you might expect, they don't always like to admit it. In fact, they much prefer if you try a little Italian, because if you just come right at them speaking English, it's kind of a turnoff to a lot of locals. But if you just make an attempt with a word or two, they immediately know that you are a tourist, and they will switch to English, and it'll be a much more friendly experience, and you'll probably get better service this way. So here's the 5 phrases that helped me. If you are just approaching somebody and you just are looking for somebody that speaks English, instead of saying, "Do you speak English?" say, "Parla inglese." Parla inglese. That's how you ask in Italian if you speak English. And if you start with that, it's going to tell them right away who you are, and they're probably going to be nicer about helping you because you're making an effort in their language. You're at a store or a bakery and you want to know how much that croissant is. Quanto costa? Quanto costa? And then the please and thank you is really easy. Please is per favore, per favore. Thank you, grazie. I'm sure you probably have heard these. And then if you need to get somebody's attention, you want to say, "Excuse me," you can say scusi, scusi. It's just one word. It gets somebody's attention. They'll know what you're asking for. If you need the waiter or you need to get the attention of somebody at a restaurant, scusi. That works fine. But if you're in the middle of a crowd and you're trying to get through or get people to move out of your way, and you say scusi, they're not really going to do much. But if you say permesso, it's like those waters will part for you. For some reason, all tourists want to go see the Spanish Steps in Rome. And I did too, but I'm not exactly sure why. As my wife pointed out, there's not really much there. And it's something that you can actually skip if you don't have a whole lot of time, because it's packed with tourists and there's not a whole lot to see. A couple of these tips have had to do with taking public transport in Rome, because it really is the best way to get around and see everything that you're going to want to see. But there's one mistake that people make because they're not familiar with how the system works. Typically, you'll have a ticket. And if you're at all tech savvy, I highly recommend downloading the app on your phone, because you can handle all your tickets for Rome's public transport system right on your phone. It makes it a whole lot easier. But if you have a paper ticket and you're getting on a subway that has a turnstile that you have to walk through, it's going to be validated the minute you put it on the machine to get through that turnstile. But if you're getting on a bus or if you're getting on a local train that doesn't have a turnstile for you to walk through, nobody's validating that ticket. You have to do it yourself. All of these types of trains and buses will have a machine. It's a little like QR reader on the bus or on the train. And you have to pass your ticket under there to get it validated. If you don't, then that ticket could be used again. And if an inspector comes and asks for your ticket, they have a scanner. They can tell if you validated it or not. Many tourists have been fined 50 to up to 200 euros for not following this process, simply because they didn't know. Now, this next tip will save you from exhaustion. But first, if you would take a minute, hit that like button, subscribe to our channel. It will help us grow and continue to bring you travel content. The first time I went to Rome, I went for 2 days. And I very quickly realized that wasn't enough time. Rome is huge. You could spend an actual week there and not see everything. So you have to manage your time properly to save yourself big headaches and major exhaustion. Try to just pick one area of Rome per day. Because if you're trying to get from the Trevi Fountain to the Colosseum to the Vatican all in one day, you're going to be plain exhausted and you're not really going to see it all that well.
The most exciting thing about Rome is everything that you can see, but also everything that you cannot see. Why don't you try underground experiences next time? There's a couple near Piazza Navona or Fontana Trevi.
If you plan one area per day that you have, you're going to get a lot better experience. And yes, you might not see everything depending on how much time you have there, but prioritize. Do what's more important to you first. That way you get those things done. And hey, if you haven't been able to see everything, it's just a great excuse to plan your next trip. So now that you know how to do Rome like a local, a lot of travelers to Italy make some key packing mistakes that make their vacation more frustrating. I'll tell you how to avoid those right here.